In this video, we are going to solve polynomial equations. Couple things to keep in mind when solving an equation. We are looking for our x-intercepts, or our roots of the equation. That means that we're setting the equation to equal to 0, or really what we're doing is looking for the x-intercept, which means that y equals 0. We have two examples then that we are going to solve. Our first example is x cubed minus x squared minus 9x plus 9 equals to 0. Remember, you want to double check and make sure that you can, to see if you can factor by grouping before you try and do long division. This one we can group. If we look at the first two terms, we can factor out an x squared. We'd be left with x minus 1. And the second two terms, if we factor out a minus 9, we'd be left with x minus 1. This is then going to give us x minus 1 times x squared minus 9. And now we've got a difference of squares. We would have x minus 1 times x plus 3 times x minus 3 equals 0. This is just like the quadratics that you did in previous years. You're going to set each of these factors equal to 0 and solve for x. That means that x is equal to either 1 or x plus 3 equals 0, so x is equal to negative 3, or x minus 3 equals 0, so x is equal to plus 3. And then we're just going to restate our solutions. So x is equal to 1, negative 3, or plus 3. Now, of course, it's not always going to be that easy, and we're likely going to have to do some long division. So this one here, x cubed plus 9x squared plus 13x plus 5 is equal to 0, is not easy to factor by grouping. We need to use our remainder theorem then, and our factor theorem, to find a factor of this polynomial. So we're looking at values of plus or minus 1 or plus or minus 5. Since it's positive, if we plugged in f at negative 1, and I'll let you solve that, you should get 0. That means that x plus 1 is a factor. We can now set up our long division. X plus 1, we're going to divide x cubed plus 9x squared plus 13x plus 5. X goes into x cubed, x squared times. Multiplying them out, we get x cubed plus x squared. Subtracting those two, we get 8x squared remainder. Bring down our 13x. This is going to go in 8x times, giving us 8x squared plus 8x. 13 minus 8 gives us 5x, and then bring down our other term. That's going to go in plus 5 times and should give you a remainder of 0 if you found the correct factor. This means we've now been able to factor it to x plus 1 times x squared plus 8x plus 5 is equal to 0. This is not easy to factor just by looking at it. We actually have to use the quadratic formula to factor this one. Using quadratic formula then for this part, we're going to have x is equal to negative b, which is negative 8, plus or minus square root of b squared, 8 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. Let's simplify a little bit now. So we got plus or minus square root of 64 minus 20, all over 2. You guys are going to love me after this one. So we got root 44 over 2. Now, I don't want you using decimal places again. We are going to keep this radical form. So this is going to simplify to negative 8 plus or minus 2 root 11 all over 2, which is going to give us, if we divide both terms by 2, negative 4 plus or minus root 11. So that means that our roots here, if we set each of these equal to 0, this equal to 0 would give us a root of negative 1. And then our other two roots are negative 4 plus root 11 and negative 4 minus root 11.